whatever Mercedes is running engine-wise, McLaren don't have to run the exact same version. They can do their changes, but they have to have access to the current engine with the current mappings. So that if Mercedes do build the best engine, McLaren can just use the same engine. The only difference is going to be Mercedes will have the advantage of knowing how to package that engine better than McLaren.
Yeah.
You would think, but McLaren have the next Newey and Rob Marshall.
Anyway, I think there's one major problem that I think no one is talking about here. I don't care if Mercedes has the best power unit. I think the next season as well
Is McLaren.
McLaren is going to be the team to beat.
Because they'll have the same engine.
They have the same engine, and at least for now, Mercedes was 60 seconds behind McLaren in this race. 60 seconds. Then basically, it's second a lap. That's the kind of gap that was there between the two teams.
Yeah.
We are assuming that the team that has built such a brilliant car in these regulations, they're just going to fade away next time around.
No, I think what everyone's assuming is they're assuming that like this is going to be 2014-esque and the Mercedes is going to have the best power unit. And that assumption I didn't think would be a situation before. I thought they would be a lot closer to the engines. I think it's just that Ferrari and Red Bull may have fucked up their engine more than I expected them to, but here we are. But I think you're right. Like the difference is in 2014, the engine manufacturers would give out, they would still have different mappings. They would still have lagging upgrades. They would still have lagging parts. Now they can't do that anymore. The regulations are simple. Whatever Mercedes is running engine-wise, McLaren don't have to run the exact same version. They can do their changes, but they have to have access to the current engine with the current mappings. So that if Mercedes do build the best engine, McLaren can just use the same engine. The only difference is going to be Mercedes will have the advantage of knowing how to package that engine better than McLaren.
Yeah.
You would think, but McLaren have the next Newey and Rob Marshall. I'm exaggerating, but he is clearly brilliant. And then, you know, they've got Pedromo, they've got Neil Holdy, they've got all this team.
The best in Formula One right now.
And they're correlating their wind tunnel perfectly at the moment, something that Mercedes clearly is still having issues with.
Yeah.
So
they have no clue. They have no clue how
they don't
the car
seem
is
to
going
understand at all.
Every Thursday they come to a weekend and they have no clue how the car is going to do.
Yeah.
That's where they are. And we are expecting that out of the blue, everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows.
And we know like Aston Martin at least now have someone who kind of can figure that out, because like just for 3 seasons, they've just tried to figure that out. And then Newey comes in and goes, yeah, your wind tunnel's off. Yeah. And within a few races, it's just
they finished P7 this race with Alonso. Yeah. And
within a few races, he's been able to say, you're going in the wrong direction. This is where you want to go. And you can see it working straight away. And
exactly. Yeah. Look, for Aston Martin, the only question mark is how the Honda power unit is going to be. And unlike the Europeans, where every day there is a fucking leak, we have no idea what the Japs are doing.
No.
And they've been so secretive, and no one knows how the Honda power unit is. And
the Honda power unit is either going to be way off the pace, or it's going to be up there with the Mercedes. Or anywhere in between. We genuinely have no idea. The rumors that I've heard are that it's close to the Mercedes, but that Audi is slightly ahead. You, I think, said the last week that you've heard that as well, and we're both surprised by this.
The Ferrari insider that came on the race who said that, according to paddock insiders, Mercedes is at the top, Audi is second, then you have Honda, then you have the Ferrari and Red Bull powertrains basically at the bottom.
It makes sense why, like, Sauber right now are so like determined to make sure that their aero department is in track and that they're all smiley and happy, because maybe they were like, right, this is going to be a 3 or 4 year project. Then all of a sudden it's like, guys, we need to get our shit together because we could have a very good engine next year. You know, like, so maybe that's why it's all kind of, okay, let's get on top of things quicker than we were planning to. You know,
I think
Hulkenberg world champion. Be amazing. But yeah,
I mean, if he gets even if he gets a podium, I'd be.
If he gets a podium next year,
I'd say 2026 is the greatest season ever if he gets a podium.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the thing that we're seeing with Aston Martin this season as well is like they are willing to at least turn things around in the season. So I think next season could be good for Aston Martin, even if they're maybe not the title contenders. There is no reason to think they won't win a race or two next year if they can turn things around a little bit. You know, they've got the right guy designing the car to at least give them a good basis. Where maybe they're not going to win because it's too short a time frame
as well. By the way, which basically started developing next season's car on January 1.
Yeah, and we'll have the potentially what looks like to be the best engine again.
And most importantly, in Jimmy consonants we trust. So we cannot doubt him. I think you might not have seen it. He signed a long-term extension with Williams, and the way he talks, apparently he put the clip out on the Williams. What was it? The Williams Instagram account, where it's like, "There's no other place I want to be, except here at Williams, and build this team and take it to greatness." And everyone's sitting there looking at it. What the fuck's going on? It's fine. You've signed a contract extension. Fine. He's the lofty ways in which he kind of, puts things out. It's interesting. It's different. But at least for now, he's not faltered.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, we've said this a few times, I think, Glassie's, like, if anyone else talked to the way he does, you'd be like, oh my God, calm down. But he keeps, apart from the last couple of races have been difficult and Sainz is having a tough time, but he seems to deliver on everything he says. He's like, by the way, we're going to have a shit season at the start of 24, but we'll turn it around. And he did, and then it's like, oh, we should have a strong 2025, but we're going to focus on 2026. Exactly where they are. Like, so when he says, no, we'll be fighting in 2026, at the moment, as much as that seems like a ridiculous notion, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because,
And coming back to the silly season, because I honestly didn't expect that this race weekend was going to be all about silly season. What does George do?
I mean, ideally he replaces Lance Stroll. That's the ideal situation, right?
I look like a genius.
You
stop
will.
calling myself the casual fan.
Start calling yourself the intense fan. The
hardcore fan.
Well, actually, let me go back. Ideally, he stays with Mercedes. That's the ideal situation for him. If he can't stay at Mercedes, I think the smartest move is try and get into Lance Stroll's seat. I feel like Lance Stroll has finally checked out, but the problem is Lance may stick around for 2026 anyway, because why wouldn't you?
Who knows?
But it's a stupid move anyway, because if you stick around for 2026, no matter who your teammate is, you're losing the championship, even if they have the best car by a mile. There's if it's Alonso, you're screwed. That's it. If it's George, you're screwed. If it's Franco Colapinto, you're screwed. I mean, unless they put Logan Sargent in alongside him, and even then, you're probably
basically bringing someone like a Max Chilton out of retirement to just
you're getting Jolyon Palmer off the commentary
Anthony
box.
Davidson. Jolyon Palmer.
And even then, you're probably still screwed.
I don't know what the thought process is when it comes to Aston Martin, where they keep putting him in the team and they are investing this much money and they want to be the best, but you have probably the worst driver in Formula One right now. That's
the thing. For a long time, there was some really poor drivers in Formula One where you could kind of go, well, Lance isn't the worst. This season, it's like, no, he's the worst. There's no other driver.
Yeah. Once Joe Guan Yu left, it was basically him.
Yeah.
And that's where they end up. It's a bit strange.
I would say Joe would beat him, to be honest, but we disagree on that. Yeah.
I think Joe is still going to be fine.
Alonso, by the way, can we just point out, I keep continuously, whenever I point out Hamilton has just lost it, enough is enough kind of thing. I know this race, he wasn't horrible, but still not Hamilton of old or anything. And then every time I bring that up, people are like, oh, why aren't you talking about Alonso? I'll tell you why. Shit like this, the way he defended against that fucking young kid behind him who we know is a fast driver, the way he used...
He knows. He manages him.
Yeah. But he used the lapped cars, he used the blue flags, he positioned his car perfectly. Nothing was left on the table. And it's like, I'm sorry, I said earlier this season, it's been 5 or 6 races. He's clearly struggling with the car for some reason, but he clearly will come back and work on it. And here we are. That is why I don't dig at Alonso. because Alonso's still driving like he was when he was 20. So, fuck it.
This race was something. It was something. The way
he's still brilliant.
Yeah.
He leaves nothing on the table. It's all, he is one of the few drivers on the grid where I go, no, the reason he's not like winning is because of the car. There's no other reason. Like if he had the Red Bull or the McLaren, he would have won a couple of races this season.
100%.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
100%.
In fact, if he was in Oscar Piastri C, he would be leading the championship right now.
And Lando would have retired.
Yeah, because he would have been driven to madness. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, being Fernando Alonso's teammate is not easy. It's mentally taxing.
The only way to beat Fernando Alonso as their teammate is to have the team completely cheat and destroy his reputation from behind the scenes. Yeah. And have Ron Dennis as the teammate or the team boss, basically.